Welcome to the Street Report Connection with Tommy. This report is going to be about the WWE programming for the remainder of the week. Starting with tomorrow, your NXT. And then Thursday, your Internet Superstars. And finally, Friday, SmackDown. And here we go, but first we're going to have some WWE brief news. There was a video that was shown on one of the dirt sheets that I thought I was going to be able to post on my show here. It's been taken down due to copyright violations. Finally, somebody noticed some copyright infringing from WWE content during, or actually after the Survivor Series pay-per-view. So I won't be able to post it because it's been removed. Well, they showed a vignette on Raw as well as the SmackDown. The same vignette was a cryptid video, and it's none other than a returning Kane to be January the 2nd. Well, other people commented on some of the dirt sheets that it could be Skip Sheffield as his new character coming in. And speaking of Skip Sheffield, his name has been removed off of the WWE website. So, that can be either be name change or he's been off WWE and released. So, and this video it's Kane. Has dropped the red mask that he used to wear, and it showed a gap between his front teeth. So does Skip Sheffield have a gap between his teeth? I know I've got mine, but I'm not bald. Okay, WWE had advertised actor Jonah Hill to guest host last night's Raw Super Show from Hershey, Pennsylvania, but he did not appear. He wasn't even at the arena at all. They had done some pre-recording segments, but never said he was going to appear on the live Raw. We're going around that he'll actually, like I said, taped his segments for Raw show weeks ago in Los Angeles, but he never was scheduled to appear live, according to them. Yesterday's Raw was rewritten several times during the day, and there's speculation that the show changed so much. Jonah's pre-taped videos wouldn't have made sense with the changes anyways. So, that's why the ending to Raw ended with the skull-crushing finale with R-Truth. Well, guess what? They're going to do a storyline injury with him this coming Monday for his 30-day suspension of his wellness policy. First offense, of course. But last year his name also appeared with Randy Orton's, but nothing happened to either one of them back then when they tested positive for some substances. USA Network was still airing commercials for Jonah's appearance right up to the actual Raw, when Raw went on the air, but never showed up. Despite other reports, PW Insider reports that the cryptic promos airing for January 2012 are meant for Chris Jericho. Not, because Chris Jericho stated he will not come back to WWE. Well, news came out last week. The talks fell through between WWE and Jericho. Also, Jericho recently said that he would never wrestle for WWE again. And when asked what he would be doing in January, he said working in Hawaii. Word is that the deal between WWE and Jericho is not done yet, but Vince McMahon wanted to get it out there now. And they want to bring him straight to the Raw program to get more ratings. And like I said, Skip Sheffield has been removed from the Raw Superstars page on WWE.com. His page is also inaccessible, which means that name change is happening, or they may have released him. WWE's World Heavyweight Champion Mark Henry appeared on the Rock 107 show this morning. He was asked about his long road to being champion. He said that a year ago he seriously considered retiring, because he stated he was going to retire in 2 years. Well, since that report he has received, he's reconsidering. Thanks to .net reader John Glenn for that one. Hey, it wasn't John Glenn the one that was on the moon? Okay. Former WCW and TNA wrestler Lash lareau, aka Jonathan LaRue, is 35 years old today. Happy birthday, Lash. He was born on November 22nd, 1976. He worked for WCW from 1998 to 2001. Also worked for TNA in the early years. NHL player Ryan Patolny issued a thank you to WWE diva Kelly for second row tickets on Monday night, and is currently playing in Hershey, Pennsylvania for the Washington Capitals minor league affiliates. Meanwhile, Kelly was dating NHL player Shelton Surrey of the Dallas Stars at last check. And last I heard, she was actually dating the Paul Tunney guy, which was 2 weeks ago, and that was on her Facebook account. WWE has suspended R-Truth, Ron Killings, for violating the wellness policy. You can read more on this official announcement at corporate.wwe.com. Let's just say it's very convenient that the suspension came out only after the Survivor Series, but also after WWE was able to do injury angle on Raw. And it just was a coincidence that when I did my WWE Universe match with John Cena and CM Punk tag teaming against Miz and R-Truth, Miz walked out on R-Truth, splitting up their team, and guess what? Well, Miz took out R-Truth on the ramp. Okay. And now for your dark match main event news. After Monday's Raw Super Show from Hershey, Pennsylvania went off the air, there was a 6-man tag team match featuring Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, The Miz versus Randy Orton, John Cena, and The Big Show. Cena took Miz out early in the match with a punch. Swagger came to the ring and was immediately hit with a WMD from The Big Show, and then an attitude adjustment from John Cena. Orton then hit Ziggler with RKO to send the crowd home happy. All the faces celebrated to their own music. Well, they had a dark match. The dark match main event for the SmackDown taping was advertised as Randy Orton, Big Show, and Sheamus versus Mark Henry, Wade Barrett, and Cody Rhodes in a 6-man tag match that was changed later in the program. And Booker T was a special referee. .net reader Eric Beeston attended Monday's WWE Raw in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and sent the following report on WWE Superstars taping. And the SmackDown taping will have 2 different reports, as I will discuss, let y'all know. Just to see which one was different. Well, they're almost the same. But let's see what happens. Well, match number 1, Ted DiBiase beat Drew McIntyre. DiBiase got a surprisingly big pop for the Superstars match with Drew McIntyre. I'm still shocked and disappointed that Drew has fallen to the level he has, because you can tell just by watching him in the ring that his skills should be should put him further up the card than he currently is. Hopefully, can rebound from this slump and make it back on TV as a featured character. If not, he could be another with a lot of talent that Vince and company just let go away. Get away. Match number 2 from the Raw brand Super Show. I should say Raw brand Superstars. Michael McGillicuddy defeated Alex Riley. Riley out to a decent reaction. But his opponent, Michael McGillicuddy, entered to no heat. Sorry, but wearing a baseball cap backwards and acting cool does not constitute a character. Well, so I guess John Cena didn't count either, huh? Slow, boring, plodding match that saw McGillicuddy get the upset win from out of nowhere. .NET readers Michael Trento and James Corona are at the WWE SmackDown tapings in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and are sending separate reports on the WWE Superstars taping that are being combined into single report below as it follows. Okay, match number 1, Jinder Mahal beat Trent Beretta. Jinder won with a camel clutch submission. Match number 2, Ezekiel Jackson defeated Tyson Kidd. Jackson over Kidd with a torture rack. The crowd was behind Zeke, but I can't imagine the crowd staying alive for all of SmackDown, wrote the reporter, and this is going to be a long show. They are changing the ring aprons now, so that concludes the Superstars tapings for the entire show from the SmackDown version. .NET readers Michael Torrento and James are at the SmackDown tapings again. This is for your NXT taping, and they're being combined into the single report. The arena is about half full, as almost the entire top is blocked off. According to Michael, Michael James observed that it's about 40% filled. Match number 1 for the NXT for tomorrow's noon showing. Yoshitatsu defeated Johnny Curtis. Derek Bateman was out on commentary. Match number 2, Jimmy Uso defeated JTG. Uso brothers did their dance and got a nice pop with some pyro. They cut a promo mentioning Yokozuna, the Wild Samoans, Umaga, and Rikishi. Uso won with a frog splash. Match number 3, Tyler Rex and Darren Young with Kurt Hawkins beat Titus O'Neil and Percy Watson with nobody. A long match, and Michael felt that it was boring. Young pinned O'Neil to give his team the win to conclude the NXT taping. Wow, 3 matches, okay. An arena employee told Michael that there was only 4,000 fans in attendance. And the same duo reporting the SmackDown show as well. For the first report, crowd came alive for Booker T making his appearance. Maybe since they don't have to listen to him, Michael Cole enters to no music and Monster Heat. Then you hear "We Want Ryder" chant starting the show. Josh Matthews comes out, and it's like nobody noticed him at all. Well, the show starts off with Mark Henry doing a promo in the middle of the ring. He said the people are happy to see him in pain, and we should give him more respect for being champion. He said he's hurt but not broken. He said it was actually Big Show's fault that he kicked him below the belt at Survivor Series. Well, this brought out Big Show, and he explained why Henry kicked him. Henry said Big Show is the world's largest loser, which set up Big Show knocking him out. Well, after the knockout punch, Daniel Bryan runs out and catches in his Money in the Bank briefcase and the contract, pinning Henry to 1, 2, 3. Well, the place went nuts. However, Teddy Long came out and said Mark Henry could not compete, so the title change does not exist, does not stand. Well, then Long gave Bryan his briefcase back and told him that he's in the main event with Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, and Randy Orton in a fatal 4-way to determine the number 1 contender for the live Tuesday episode of SmackDown next week. He said the winner of that match will face Big Show. But later in the program, it was changed to the actual title match against Mark Henry. But they didn't say exactly when the match against Show will happen. Okay, match number 1, Hunico defeated Justin Gabriel. Crowd wasn't even into the first match at all. That's basically your warm-up match for your TV. Match number 2, Diva Squash match, 1-minute match. Beth Phoenix and Natalya defeated AJ and Caitlyn. Alicia Fox was out for commentary. There were more We Want Ryder chants. Natalya won in a minute with a sharpshooter, and Beth didn't even get tagged in. Natalya kept AJ in a sharpshooter, and then bridged it down for an awesome tap out. Alicia Fox entered the ring, and then she released a move, and both walked out. Natalya and Beth walked away. Well, then they showed the cryptid video of Kane advertising something about January 2nd of 2012. Backstage, Zack Ryder and Sheamus went over their match. Ryder did the woo woo woo, and Sheamus said, stole a sign, said, "You know it." So that was their tag match of the evening, so to speak. Match number 3, Sheamus and Zack Ryder defeated Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger. Match number 4, Ted DiBiase defeated Heath Slater, the DiBiase posse. Match number 5, Daniel Bryan defeated Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and Wade Barrett in the Fatal 4-Way to earn a World Heavyweight Championship shot next week. Now, there's your little swerve there. It's a little bit different than what they advertised during the said in the start of the show. And dark match main event, Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan was your tag match and defeated Cody Rhodes and Wade Barrett with Booker T as special referee. Now for your second report for SmackDown, Adam H. is in attendance for the SmackDown taping in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and is sending in text messages with the updates. Which airs Friday. The crowd came alive for Booker T. Maybe since I don't have to listen to him. Like I said, same report. Just about. Mark Henry promo started the show. He said the people are happy to see him in pain, and they should give him more respect being champion. He said he's hurt but not broken. He said it was actually Big Show's fault and kicked him below the belt of Survivor Series to get the DQ. Big Show came out and explained why Henry kicked him. Henry said Big Show is the world's largest loser, which set up Big Show's knockout punch. Daniel Bryan catches in, wins, but Teddy comes out and says Mark Henry could not compete, so the title change does not stand. Then Teddy Long gave Bryan his briefcase back and told him that he's in the main event with Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, and Randy Orton in a fatal 4-way to determine number 1 contender for the live SmackDown next week. He said the winner of that match will face Big Show again in this report, but didn't say when exactly that will happen. And they say presumably TLC pay-per-view. Match number 1 was Hunico defeating Justin Gabriel. Crowd was not even into the match. They cared less. Beth Phoenix and Natalya beat AJ and Caitlyn. Alicia Fox was out commentary. And a lot of We Want Ryder chants through the whole event for SmackDown. Natalya won in a minute with a sharpshooter. Beth didn't even get tagged in. Natalya kept AJ in a sharpshooter and then bridged down for the awesome tap out. Alicia entered the ring and Beth and Natalya left without any problem. Kane video was showed from Raw. Backstage, Ryder and Sheamus went over their match. Ryder did the woo 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 and Sheamus did the you know it line. Teddy Long and Oksana are backstage. Mark Henry confronts Long about having to defend his title next week. In spite of that, Long makes next week's title match a steel cage. So there's your what was not said in the other report. Zack Ryder and Sheamus defeated Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler. Daniel Bryan and AJ are backstage. They both talk about how they've had bad luck tonight before Bryan is interrupted by Wade Barrett, who says that he'll win the Fatal 4-Way match tonight. Barrett walked off and Bryan and AJ end the segment by kissing. Ted DiBiase defeated Heath Slater. And then Jinder Mahal appeared on the Titantron and says that DiBiase is disrespecting his heritage by holding his DiBiase posse parties with common folks, with the WWE fans in the parking lot of the arenas. Matt Striker interviews Cody Rhodes backstage. Rhodes said that he threw water in Booker T's face on Raw because he looked at Rhodes the wrong way. He said he'll win the Fatal 4-Way match tonight, and he says that he can dig that, sucker. Well, The Rock says, well, that kid over there sitting in that chair over there, he said he's gonna win the Fatal 4-Way tonight. Well, okay. Daniel Bryan defeated Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. And Wade Barrett to become the new #1 contender. Bryan will now face Mark Henry next week in the steel cage match for the World Heavyweight Championship. After the match, Rhodes ambushed Bryan and started beating them down. Orton stomped Rhodes with an RKO to end the show. Now that ends my SmackDown Superstars and NXT results for this week. And tonight, it's November 22nd, 2011, which will be Thanksgiving episode of your Superstars. And tomorrow's episode of your NXT, and don't forget Friday, the November 25th, SmackDown. Thanks for viewing. And like I said, the video that I was going to show got taken off the air, so can't show the video. So therefore, I'm not going to get no copyright infringing on my content. Thank you for viewing again, and peace out.